It started in a cemetery. I felt the weight of collective bodies, then a collective weightlessness. I turned energy into song, dance into words, movement into text. I mapped a healing, a new kind of psychogeography, a poetics of ruin and recovery. Each morning I find myself in this body, one I do not recognize, not my face, not the sound of my voice, not the color of my skin. A sedentary lapse in judgment. I embark on writing a passage to find my way clear. The somatic drift. The process is slow, there are relapses, the comfort of a shell calling me back. We walk. We walk because one foot in front of the other is the only way to understand that we still exist. Arches in collapse, joints deteriorate, retreating discs. With so much preferred pain, the walk is now a lonely version of survival. A pilgrimage on city streets, in the park, on the cemetery trail. The distance only told by how the body responds in respite. I carry her words with me. I let the gate induce each memory. Stolen billfold. Black market cigarettes. You are my sunshine sung on the streets. I cross paths with the fox and we pause for a long minute in each other's presence, the distance we hold, the gaze. I think about spatial awareness and how objects, people, sentient beings situate themselves in relation to. That is, to other, to self, to time, to intervals unforeseen in this past, present, future. On her island, space is narrow. A cremated body does not lie horizontal, but with vertical reach. Memorial plaques stretch upward toward sky. We approach with water and bucket in hand, and we wash. The mossy green softening the edges, this ritual of cleansing and offering. The head lowers to the ground in reverence. To understand the cartography is to understand the breath. That tongue which comes to us, which makes us turn a culture precisely. Lately the skin hurts, a dry heat in the cold. I want to scratch until I bleed a city. Perhaps there I will find the things I have been missing. I long to disappear. The gaze of otherness so harsh, the questioning, the stare. I see my reflection in the darkened mirror. I cannot speak the language. I try. I bow. My voice raises an octave. I pray for sleep, for my insides to settle. The incongruity disturbs equilibrium and more. I envision a tunnel through which to burrow. I am that fox in the cemetery. I walk the paths. I eat berries. I chase white birds. When you join me at dusk, I search your depth, looking for a wintry grave. I am estranged to the land of the rising sun, distanced, foreign, removed. My perception limited to glimpses, to gestures that made the voyage, to intermittent return visits. The majority of a life lived apart, separated at birth by an ocean. Is the body in toto dissimilar in character, feature, motion? The body and its positioning have been put aside beside itself. There is no normal state. The body left unfamiliar. The mind astonished. Rendered an alien nation. This alien nation. Our structural frame in words interrogate being. You are the answer. Speak so as to make meaning more apparent. A flat language grounds symbols. Before we sleep, we sing the songs of a child, a ritual we inhabit these days, the long evenings. Her mind has left her minimal at times, her structural frame slight. In other words, the slender silhouette casts a shadow over our lives. One might call her superstitious. almost blind in one eye, but she is able to see the spirit of the mountains and the moon, the virtue of the sun, even as winter falls and its reflection is hidden. When you leave your birth country at 2 months or 22, there are things you never learn. There is a moment when language ceases, echoless and empty, a radical silence. Open to divine communication, a halt language in our sleep. Intuition codes the breach. I question the act of internalized metaphors, a brief utterance. There is a moment when language of the body transcends this physical form. The body saves us. You repeat this mantra hoping for divine intervention from this colonized, assimilated life. The horror of looking into the mirror and being betrayed by what you see, all this and not resembling. The change has come. Not once a border here. The repetition may be jarring, but these are imbrications in a shingled existence. To write of this occasion does not alleviate the pain or loss. You first heard this story as a child. As a high school student, she was forced to work in a factory. One day, firebombed. On her way home, she met her father, who heard the news. He was carrying a shovel. What you failed to understand then are the conditions of war. Your retelling now is clinical and condensed. He feared he would need to dig her body from the rubble. Beneath the waves, a note of music spoken in echo. The eye is fragile, a moment in language passing from memory to anterior. In snow I forgot my face, crossed the rain, become a faint touch of life, awakened to the brevity of one self. There is no gratitude in daily life unless you make space for a note of music beneath the waves. You are underwater, breathing a new kind of air. The breakages in language are submerged, but also buoyant. How the two can coexist is but a gift of color. An elusive red in snow, though I forgot my face. Come to this season like a circle curving home, a swift wrist, black paint, a brush that feathers its stroke. This self refracts an image, the collective body without a center to grasp. A word defined by other words is a form of repetition. Origin, memory without country. I, Japan. The question does not come before. It is calm in the city when Moon Island is reclaimed land. A word defined by other words is a form of repetition. She tells her story as if for the first time to ears who hear the echo. Out of kindness comes a vestige of red. The kinship of hands inside hands, the holding of tender story. A single image you've come to understand. The answer so bright, copper fire. Narratives offer a country, marginal vibration, tiny among us as a result. The trace, unexpected. A hysteria of bodies in which regrets are freed. Simply be content to walk with ritualized coordination. What feels necessary is the hysteria of bodies. The cunning gray inside the line of sight. No one here understands the single film, the hurt beyond the periphery. To tell the story only dims the etching between skins. Understand the blinking time, the battle of woe and thunder. In the distance, the rain falls so heavy like iron rods from the sky, straight down, disappearing into heat. What feels necessary is the history of bodies, the touch that breathes, a fingerprint that understands the truth behind each curtain. What feels necessary is the hybridity of bodies, the intertwined surface as you walk within the tunnel of Senbontori. This red fox. The map is not the territory. We are informed, then deformed by place, inch by inch, into square mile, into a pilgrimage along the narrow road. The interior body echoes and is resilient somehow, even in the face of death. As memory erodes, the vagaries of the brain in decline. When the smell of incense recalls the morning your grandfather died, you are 6, burning holes in your nightgown as you light the stick. Place it in ash, ring the bell, and pray. Expand this city beyond body, break the boundary and connect to the haunted heart. All the remains fall and fall yet. The body inside a favorable position, what country is lifted? To adjoin the clear state of matter with fluent speech. Outside each month we connect with the sharpened tongue. We meet in advanced movement along the map. A dance that lasts just beyond our sight. No one here sleeps in urgency. The effects of language are still unknown. In the answer, the inquiry emerges, in sweet blues and greens. The edge progresses and retracts, a hallucination beyond the coil. I am a hologram. The current resides inside the lens. Nerve, embryo, ghost, a stranger. I am this ruptured text.